So when I say the name Frank Frazetta, what comes to mind? Some people may say, who? That's an unusual last name. Others will know. Yes, the legendary um, illustrator who did Melly Hatchett's debut album and others of very strong figures and stuff like that, specifically in Ralph Baksh's Fire and Ice from 1983. Began as a once in a lifetime collaboration between two of the greatest icons of the fantasy genre. Controversial animator Ralph Bakshi, director Fritz the Cat Wizards, and the original LLTR. Legendary illustrators Frank Frazetta, creator of the iconic Conan the Barbarian, Vampirella, and Edgar Rice Burroughs book covers. It became and remains one of the most startling animation epics of all time. Now experience a world unlike any other scene where savage warriors, horrific monsters, and luscious maidens battle for the soul of a civilization in a time of good versus evil, pleasure and pain, and fire and ice. This long and available cult favorite has been remastered in high def from original Vault Masters remix and stunning 6.1 DTS-ES and 5.1 Dolby Ground Sound. So yeah, there you go. How do I feel about this? Well, this is there's the fantasy boom of the early 1980s. You know, you had the Beastmaster, you had Conan, and all the way up until Legend, which I reviewed. And you know, this is a good animated version of it, but you know exactly what you're getting based on that description. The story is as minimal as possible. It's a totalitarianism versus freedom, as the Ice King Necron, not Necronomicon, is encroaching on the remaining forces with his ice in order to keep his wrath maintained with his white hair and the open shirt and everything else. He also has his mother with him, just like that's something kind of unexpected. Hopefully, no Oedipus complex comes up. That would be interesting. But it's the most standard story. It's like the princess are going to try and do some peace treaty, but she gets captured at least 3 or 4 different times in the movie. You know, because the invading force is coming in. It's just like, how many times can you get captured, lady? And it's like, she's in nothing but skimpy lingerie, and I'm just like, well, this is indeed intended for teenagers and comic book fans, which I cannot deny. And, you know, obviously sex sells and stuff like that. So yeah, this is 100% pure masculinity, like traditional masculinity, like He-Man, anything, and not that yups Andrew Tate. Anyway, this is fine. The animation overall is really smooth. You know, there's a lot of movement. We get a good amount of action. Very specifically, I would say during a fight against some of the lapdogs, I guess you could call them, of where they are, you know, trying to take the weapons and everything. And we get, yeah, I mean, it is really good. This is like, you know, looking as obviously the climax is the best part, right? I'd say roughly an hour and 1 hour, 1 minute in, especially when they're swooping in on these dragon hawks that are just pretty much pterodactyls. We just get so much moving, you know. We get the side view, we get the front view like this of them coming in, and just all the sweeping and majesty that comes in. As meanwhile, we have the Neanderthals that are really good archers, surprisingly. And I'm just like, whoa, I was not expecting that. So just to see it all come in, just so visceral and just kinetic, fluid. Like, I mean, it's like there's barely any moments where it, like, maybe have a couple of lingering shots of the still frames where they're moving it, whatever. You know, you're definitely not here for that. You're here to see some action. Of course, it has all the tropes going on of the masked anti-hero. We have not the reluctant, kind of a reluctant hero. You have the princess. You have the overarching themes going on to the freedom and everything else. I'm like, yes, this is some good stuff. But why does the princess get captured so much? I don't know. It just, you know, she's already scantily clad. I'm like, what is going on? And it's like, you know, we get a good time with the students. They always just seem to come in, but none of them. It's like they have their own language. They barely speak English. And we also get to see the queen have her own power. She manages to suffocate and eliminate one of them. Like, yeah, she can make her send her power across with fire and stuff. I'm like, but we don't really see what happens. I think she does get krilled, but at the same time, it's like, that's it? And stabbed or whatever. That felt underwhelming. I don't know. Yeah, obviously, it feels, I guess, cohesive enough, but at the same time, Ralph Bakshi has, one review said that he is known for shortcuts of like lack of story, unity, and things like that. I'm like, yeah, I could feel that. It did feel a little spliced, like right at the end when the king of the fire keep can release lava to melt all the glaciers and everything. I'm like, you could have done that in the beginning. And plus, it comes out in slow motion too. I noticed there were some like slow mo cuts, which obviously was for budgetary, which whatever. I don't. But like in the beginning, when the princess is there, it's like when the princess and her handmaiden or whatever are in there, with implied lesbianism. I think I could be wrong. It's like it's slowed down as the handmaiden gets krilled and the princess escapes. It's like, why is this in slow mo? I don't get it. I don't know. That's just the part I didn't like. But you know what? It was lucrative enough. It has 60% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is considered the 99th greatest animated film of all time. It's a pretty dang good honor. Rosetta it was like, obviously they had rotoscoping going on. The live actors coming in, and then they would capture the footage, and then draw the animation over them. And there was like roughly 1,000. What was that? A couple hundred paintings, or whereas of 1,000 paintings, like 6 to 8 were done daily for the beautiful backgrounds. I also like the backgrounds. Apparently, Frank Frazetta was so daunting. I don't know if it was like his personality or just the work he expected, but some of the animators fainted, whenever he appeared. So that was interesting. There's also an award-winning documentary, Frazetta Painting with Fire, explores the remarkable life and career of the man who changed fantasy art forever. Whatever. Yeah. You can tell it has subtitles though, but yeah, definitely right here you get some more of the, I don't know what you want, album cover artwork that Molly Hatch would do, but whatever. You're here to see it, so you know exactly what you're getting. I do recommend it.